Hi, welcome back to another video. Static stretching has undergone a lot of criticisms in recent years, mainly because it doesn't do a lot of things that it is supposed to do. So can you skip stretching and still be more flexible? How can you be more flexible without stretching? And why doesn't static stretching necessarily improve your flexibility? I will explain all this to you in this video. If you like this video, please click the like button, please leave your comments below and share this video. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future weekly video release. Please also subscribe to this channel. This is completely free of charge, but will help the channel to grow. Thank you. Most of the research out there shows that stretching has little effect on post-exercise muscle soreness and doesn't do much for injury prevention either. While stretching is traditionally seen as the best way to increase your flexibility, it is not the only way to do it. In fact, there is a very simple way to get more flexible without doing any stretching at all, and it doesn't involve adding anything to your workout. It may even save you time in the gym. While strange as it might sound, lifting weights can be a highly effective way to improve your flexibility. In some cases, it works just as well as static stretching. I will explain the science behind this at the end of this video. Let's take a look at the evidence for this. In one study, for instance, researchers looked at the effect of 3 months of resistance training on the flexibility in a group of male athletes training to compete in the Brazilian National Judo Championships. Compared to a control group who did nothing but judo-specific training, lifting weight 3 times a week led to significant improvements in flexibility in the shoulders, trunk, and hips. What's more, the training program they used wasn't anything complicated or fancy. All the men did was 3 sets of 10 to 12 repetitions of bench presses, lat pull downs, shoulder presses, and bicep curl for the upper body, along with squat, leg press, leg extension, and leg curl for the lower body. Another study divided college-age volunteers into groups of doing static stretching, resistance training, and nothing at all. The study measured flexibility at the knee, hip, and shoulder. After 5 weeks, static stretching fared no better than resistance training for improving flexibility. In fact, some participants in the strength training group show a greater increase in flexibility than the stretching group. The results suggest that carefully constructed full-range resistance training can improve flexibility as well as, perhaps better than, typical static stretching. It is interesting that the findings aren't specific to healthy college-age men and women or highly trained athletes. Strength training has been shown in various trials to improve flexibility in elderly men and women in their late 60s and 70s. Please take a look at this particular study and this one. More interesting still, the heavier the weight, the greater the increase in flexibility. In one 6-month study, a group of men trained with weights that were 40, 60, or 80% of the 1 rep max. Flexibility improved in a weight-dependent manner. That is, the men who trained with the heaviest weights were the ones who saw the greatest change in flexibility. Strength training, in other words, doesn't make you stiff or inflexible. On the contrary, lifting weights through a full range of motion contribute to the development and maintenance of flexibility, all without the need for additional stretching. Here is why stretching may not be as effective, especially when you overstretch. Now, the stretch reflex is an automatic nervous system response to stretching within a muscle. When a muscle is lengthened beyond a point where it can comfortably stretch, sensory receptors in the muscle called muscle spindles then immediately send a message to the muscle fibers to contract in order to protect the muscle from being torn. So one critical function of the stretch reflex is to prevent us from tearing our muscles, tendons, and ligaments. Well, the knee jerk reflex is a great example. The doctor hits your patellar tendon just below your knee, suddenly stretching the tendon and the quadricep tendon, which attaches above the patella. The muscle spindles in your quadriceps sense the sudden increase in length, and the message is automatically sent to contract your quadriceps in order to prevent injury and overstretching of the muscles and tendon. When your quadriceps contract, your foot kicks up. The stretch reflex also helps us to stand up straight against gravity. See, when I stand upright but begin to lean to the right side, my postural muscles on the left side of the vertebral column will be stretched. When the muscle spindles in those muscles sense that they are being lengthened, the message to contract them is automatically sent in order to correct my posture. Let's get back to the stretching. Why doesn't stretching improve your flexibility? When you practice static stretching, the conscious and subconscious parts of your nervous system are battling against each other, trying to achieve opposite results. The conscious part of your brain is sending the message to manually stretch your muscles by pulling on them. But despite all your efforts, your stretch reflex is automatically kicking in, contracting your muscles to prevent you from overstretching and tearing your muscles, tendons, and ligaments. The question is, if our stretch reflex prevents us from manually lengthening our muscles, why does stretching sometimes make us feel more flexible? Well, one reason is that when you engage in prolonged static stretching, pulling your muscles and tendons past the point they are able to voluntarily lengthen, you begin to stretch your ligaments, resulting in more flexible and often less stable joints. One stretch, ligaments may never regain their original length and strength. Secondly, prolonged static stretching can desensitize your stretch reflex. However, the effects wear off pretty quickly. And very often you will feel your muscles begin to tighten up again within just a few hours as your stretch reflex regain normal function. A third reason that stretching can make us feel more flexible is that when we stretch repeatedly, we're building up a tolerance to the sensation of pulling in our muscles. Even though it is by nature an uncomfortable sensation, with repetition, it can become tolerable and even enjoyable. A great deal of research has shown that static stretching before a workout decreases joint stability and reduces muscle performance, strength, and power. So the best way to warm up is to do a few slow, gentle versions of the movement you will be doing in your workout. By consciously practicing the movement sequence and increasing blood flow to your muscles and connective tissues. This type of warm-up prepares both your brain and your body for optimal performance. Virtually everyone I met who has tried stretching to relieve their chronic pain, especially those who rely on stretching alone to alleviate their back pain, reports that it hasn't helped them at all. And there are two simple reasons why. First, stretching does not re-educate the nervous system, and no amount of pulling on a muscle will change the resting level of muscle tension that is being set by the Gamma feedback loop. The resting level of muscle tension must be reset through an active process of relearning involving slow, conscious, voluntary movement and the integration of sensory feedbacks from the muscle. Secondly, when you pull an already tight muscle, the stretch reflex is activated, making the muscle contract even more. Well, it is possible that you might get some pain relief from gentle prolonged stretching, but as we have already discussed, the increase in muscle length is temporary and the muscle will rebound within a short period of time. Most likely, stretching will not only do little for your pain, but will increase and prolong your pain by making your muscles tighter. Furthermore, muscle pain, especially lower back pain, is caused by trigger point, and stretching will not release these trigger points. I have videos made for trigger point release, please take a look. Let me explain to you why a well-structured resistance training package can help to improve your flexibility without any additional static stretching. This is achieved through a neurological process of muscle known as reciprocal inhibition. Our muscles work in pairs, that is when one contracts, the antagonist relaxes. This is an automatic mechanism during activities like running, where muscles opposing each other are engaged and disengaged sequentially to produce coordinated movements. And this action of having one muscle relaxes while its counterpart contracts is critical for efficient movement and to prevent injuries. But I have to emphasize that using reciprocal inhibition to improve your flexibility only works if your strength training program revolves around balanced muscle pair exercises. Some common agonist-antagonist muscle pairs that can assist you when using reciprocal inhibition techniques. For example, biceps and triceps, shoulders and back, chest and back, thighs and hamstrings, adductors and abductors. As you can see, for instance, activation of your biceps with resisted tension will force the antagonist group of muscles to relax, in this case the triceps. So reciprocal inhibition is a wonderful natural principle to incorporate into your programming as a strategy to help to create flexibility and mobility. So, am I discouraging you from stretching? Certainly not. I'm merely letting you know that static stretching is not the only way to gain flexibility. That said, Using reciprocal inhibition to improve your flexibility only works if you follow a straight agonist and antagonist training protocol. If you only focus on training your chest, for example, but ignoring training your back, this will make your chest unduly tight, possibly exacerbating your hyperkyphotic posture. I therefore believe that you should not quit static stretching altogether. Stretching does make you feel good, and it is nice to finish off a tough workout session with a few stretches. But don't overstretch, as this could initiate your stretch reflex, making your static stretches less effective. Thank you for watching until the end. If you like this video, please click the like button. Please leave your comments below and share this video. Hit the notification bell so you won't miss any of my future weekly video release. Please also subscribe to this channel. This is free of charge, but will help the channel to grow. If you're interested in improving your health and fitness or losing weight, if you suffer from or wish to prevent back pain, please take a look at my book, which is now available from Amazon worldwide. Thank you.